Madam Chair. Hello, Senators. I'm prior United States Marine Corps. I pastor a small ministry in Lake County. I teach ESE grades 6 through 8. I service adults with developmental disabilities overnight at a group home. I also drive Uber to support my 3 college students who live right here in Tallahassee. And after all of this labor and work, there is no savings to put towards family future retirement. I'm asking you, please do not vote for this bill. It hurts those who work hard. Thank you.
You're recognized.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone, for being here and for listening to me. My name is Robin Goodman. I'm a distinguished research professor of English at Florida State University. I'm also the president of the local chapter of the United Faculty of Florida, the FSU chapter of the Faculty Senate, of the Faculty Union. And I want to be clear about this. People in Florida are calling this the union busting bill. And having heard the person or the people who are promoting it, it does seem like they haven't spoken to very many union members or very many teachers, which would support the idea that this is indeed just a union busting bill. So the question would be, is that good or bad for the state of Florida, which we all have an interest in that question. University unions are not special interests. They are partners in responsible stewardship of public institutions. They provide a clear, lawful framework for addressing concerns early, reducing turnover, and preventing costly disputes that protects both employees and taxpayers. Strong public universities are economic engines for Florida. When faculty and staff are stable and supported, they educate the workforce, attract research funding, and drive innovation across the state. Supporting the constructive role of university unions is not ideological. It is practical. It advances fiscal responsibility, workforce stability, and the long-term strength of Florida's public higher education system. And I want to point out that year after year, the nation of Finland supports public sector unions, and they have the highest educational outcomes in the world year after year. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. My name is Jessica Sawicki. I'm a registered voter, a 22-year educator in Lake County Public Schools, and I'm a parent of a middle school student. Floridians agree our children deserve strong public schools, and that begins with valuing and supporting the educators who serve them. Senate Bill 1296 moves us in the opposite direction. It does not help me, and it does not help my colleague, a single mother working 4 jobs just to make ends meet while serving in our schools. Recently, we went to lunch, and our wait staff was a former first-year teacher who simply could not afford to stay in the classroom. This is the reality in Florida. Senate Bill 1296 does not improve student outcomes or strengthen our workforce. This bill hurts me. If you support education and workers, do not make it harder for my family to live, and do not support this bill.
My name is Patrick Lewicki, and I am a teacher, an economics teacher to be specific. And let me tell you, when I was growing up, my family taught me to respect everybody, from the janitor to the bus driver to the CEO. All deserved respect. I stand here in a room full of bus drivers, full of post office workers, full of teachers, with this bill that shows us no respect. This bill takes the voices of me, my brothers, and my sisters away to fight for our students and to fight for our communities. I know your parents did not raise you to disrespect working professionals in this way. Honor your family. Honor the family values that they instilled in you. Vote this bill down. Thank you.
You're recognized.
Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Yuskett. I'm a science teacher in St. Johns County. I just want to say I work in a portable, and I only go in the building when they're serving us food. So it's usually hard to make it inside for the vote. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I utilize troops to teachers. I actually just had a procedure to remove some cancer off my face. I've watched my county's bargaining sessions It feels emotionally a lot like what we just watched here. The district is uncompromising and has recently had to go to a special magistrate, and the special magistrate voted towards the union's terms, and the district didn't want to accept any of the terms before that. If this bill is ratified, my premiums and out-of-pocket maxes and prescription costs are going to eat into my paycheck every year. St. Johns County's cost of living is skyrocketing with no end in sight, and this bill will not help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Kirkland, a high school video teacher in Lakeland, Florida. In the early 90s, I watched my mom, a registered nurse, gather with a band of her nurse friends and stand up to persuade their employer to lower patient-staff ratios. It actually happened in 2018. This ratio became a reality. Less mistakes were made, quality of care improved, and recovery rates rose, all because nurses chose to band together in solidarity. They were free to do so. This bill takes away those freedoms as a nurse and as a teacher. Stop the infringement on my freedom. This bill not only hurts me and other educators, but it will hurt workers across the state of Florida. Do not make it harder for us in Florida. Please do not support this bill.
You're recognized.
Good afternoon and now evening, Senators and Chair Mayfield. My name is Kelly Stevenson. I'm a proud public education teacher of our students learning English as a second language in Walton County in the Panhandle. Every day, I bring my students the best of me, and they give me their best. I teach to provide for my family. I am a highly educated teacher because that was always my dream growing up, my calling, my purpose, if you will. I live that dream every day, and I have for the past 22 years. I've chosen that. I've taught in Ohio, Texas, and now Florida. I want to keep teaching and retire with dignity. However, this bill hurts me in trying to provide for my family. If you support public education and you support public workers, do not make it harder for my family or their families. Please do not support this bill. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ann Barrett. I'm a professor at Florida State University. This bill adopts a voting rule designed to block outcomes, not measure support. In Athens and Rome, citizens physically cast pebbles or ballots into urns, and decisions were made by counting votes, not silence. The bill abandons that Western civic tradition entirely by counting non-votes as no votes. How do we explain to our students that we teach one thing, but we legislate another? This bill also departs from a basic principle of Western legal tradition, that both sides must be heard. It defines bargaining as a process where one party may speak only if the other allows it. Administrators and attorneys are paid to negotiate, but faculty representatives are not unless the employer agrees. This is not a process that reflects well on our civic traditions. I urge you to vote no on SB 1296. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for being here.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Portia Hugger, and I'm an elementary educator living in Duval County. I have been in education for 14 years. Of those 10 I have been considered highly effective at my job. I have lived in Florida my entire life. I'm a graduate of Florida State University and the University of North Florida. I have 2 small children that are in public education in Duval County. This bill, or me and my husband work very hard to provide for our family, to pay for housing expenses, child care costs for extended day, afford groceries and rising insurance costs. This, when you say the school boards would pay for expertise, I think 10 years of being considered highly effective would say that I deserve or demand a certain salary. And when asked, when I was going for a promotion, we do not negotiate. It is what it is. You can take it or leave it. There is not an abundance of people waiting to come into education. As we all know, there is a vast shortage in the industry. But this bill hurts me. If you support public education and public education workers, you will make it harder for me and other families like me. Please do not support this bill.